Welcome back. Another edition of the Six Man Tag Podcast. We're back. I think this is episode 30. I lose track when I number them on my computer because we have 2 episodes that are considered lost. But this is they're lost because they're terrible.
Yes.
But this is episode 30. We're creeping in on a year. We're getting close to a year back doing this. Never thought. Round of applause for us. Never thought we'd last this long. Shout out to
you
us.
fucked up. You fucked up. Oh, wait.
Whoops. Oh,
sorry,
yeah, we fucked up doing this for almost a year.
Wrong
back,
meeting.
Episode 30. As always, I'm Mike, and joining me, it's CJ.
CJ Doyen messing with his lighting because it is way too bright on his face and only half of it. But anyway, for the YouTube audience, you see that. I look like Harvey Dent up here. But moving on to our man with the 1001 intros, Mr. Skylar Strange.
Hey, Francis, you said I'm the man of 1001 intros. Well, I counted, and I'm actually the man of 1004 intros.
All right,
And just proof, I got him right here.
No, we're not doing
1,
this.
Jesse the Body Ventura. 2, Joel Gertner. 3, Scott Steiner. 4, El Queso Verde. 5, The Rock.
And don't forget about
6,
Jesse the Body Ventura.
The Jesse Body
there it is.
Ventura.
I was waiting for the repeat.
7,
there it is.
Scott Steiner. 8, Ric Flair. 9,
this will literally
Jesse
go on all
the
night.
Body Ventura.
Again.
10, Cactus Jack. 11, Joel Gertner. 12, Brian Pillman.
But Skylar, if you go for 1004 things,
13.
I'm going to murder you.
Number 75.
Number 14, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me try something.
And
Commercial
I get
break.
cut to commercial.
God damn it.
Yes.
I just tried to
They
do
already-
it.
They already heard the commercial in the show.
I was like, hold on, let me try something. Swipe
the
to
audio,
commercial.
excuse me, the audio version people heard the commercial. YouTube didn't hear shit.
CJ, I was praying you would somehow know to do that.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You just
No,
made
we
this
knew.
episode for me.
We know the bit goes into commercial and back, which is genius.
Thank you.
And joining us again, welcome back, American Sumo, Mike Gamble.
It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining us again.
Of course. I had a blast last time. I appreciate you guys having me on again.
We did too, man. It was a lot of fun.
It was great.
And this is going to be a lot of fun too, because we're talking about something very special today, boys. Something we all enjoy.
Yeah. As you can tell by the title of the episode, wrestling video games. I guess not so much a history rundown. It's our own opinions of it. What do we like? What do we hate? Of course, we'll throw in the history of it. This all came because I have an arcade in my town, which no free ads, but whatever. Shout out Billy's Midway Arcade in Hawthorne, New Jersey, because this place is awesome. All old machines. They have a tiny space on the second floor of a building, but they honestly make fantastic use of the space they have. Tons of games in there. It's $15 for an hour, but $30 for all day. So you don't have to come in with your quarters. You can just pay one price. I went a few weeks ago, said, let me go check it out for an hour. Looked at the clock, 5 hours passed. So it's a good time.
That's how it works. Yes.
Yeah. And this all comes up because I walk in and what's the first thing that catches my eye? It is a WWF WrestleFest arcade machine.
Classic.
Which if you've never played it, it's essentially two modes. You got tag team wrestling, which your ultimate goal is you pick a team. You have to go through a series of matches to be the number one contender to then beat the Legion of Doom for the tag team championships. Yeah. Or there's a Royal Rumble mode, which that's self-explanatory. But that's what had me thinking. There's been so many wrestling games since the late 80s. WrestleFest, one of them. It's one of the OGs, I think, especially for arcade. Which like all arcade games can make you eat quarters very quickly, but luckily at this arcade, exactly at this arcade, you can just like hit a button for more credits. So I was just sitting there for like a half hour playing some WrestleFest, which awesome game. I wish I could afford to buy the machine and keep it in my house, but the arcade in town will do.
I'm surprised. Do they have like one of those like smaller size arcade cabinets of like any wrestling games?
I mean, you can make it work. I know when
Well,
we
you
actually,
can definitely make it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, like when
But
we, like the house we had when I had my bachelor party had an arcade machine in it in the basement with just
Yeah.
like hundreds of games on it. So there's
That
certainly
was
ways
cool.
to do it. Yeah, no, it was real cool.
Like stuff like that's obviously modded, but they
Yeah.
also just make cabinets of
like you
all
could go
of
into
those
Best
games,
Buy and they
basically.
have some of them. That's what I was curious if one of those existed yet. Like walk
Oh,
into
of all
Best
just
Buy.
wrestling games. I
Walk
get
into
what you mean.
Best
yeah.
Buy, walk into Best Buy and get like a shrunk down WWF Royal Rumble arcade cabinet. If
That
you
would be
remember
cool,
that
yeah.
That would be cool.
monstrosity.
Or
That would be
how about
cool.
this one, guys? You guys ever play WrestleMania, the arcade game?
Hell yeah.
Well, that's, I mean,
I used
that's
to have that
the
for the
original.
Sega Genesis.
That was
But
the
it
original
but it
on
was also an
NES.
arcade game, obviously. No,
Right.
no. You're thinking of something else.
WrestleMania
there's
on NES. This is different.
There was a WrestleMania game on NES, which I also had.
Hmm.
And there was a
but
sequel too.
was there a sequel? I didn't have
Yeah.
the sequel. I had the first one. The first one had like 6 people on it. I think it was like Hogan, Warrior, Boss Man.
Taker.
Was Taker on it? I don't even know if Taker was on it
Maybe.
yet.
Mm,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
probably on it.
Taker was in there. Yeah,
Taker's
Yeah.
in the
shot
Genesis.
the ghosts out of his hands.
Yeah.
And
well,
isn't
that
the
was
tombstone
in the
pile
arcade
driver? He
game.
just slams a tombstone over someone's head.
See,
Yeah, that
that's
was
the
the
arcade
arcade
game. Now we're
game.
talking about 2 different games again.
Oh, what were you talking
Okay.
about?
Well, the old
That happens
NES
early on.
wrestling, the old NES WrestleMania game, I remember, had like
Oh,
Hogan and Warrior and stuff.
Yeah, I do remember
WrestleMania,
that
the
game.
arcade game, had Doink the Clown. It had Shawn Michaels, Undertaker,
Yeah.
Lex Luger, Bret the Hitman Hart. That was I had that for Sega Genesis. I mean, my brother, we used to play. There's a co-op mode where you have to run through a whole bunch of contenders, and then you start off with like 2-on-2 matches, but then it goes up to like 2-on-3, and then it's like 2-on-5, and guys are coming in after you've already beat guys.
Yeah.
And eventually you win the championship at the end if you make it. But we used to play that game so many times. I memorized all of Shawn Michaels combos, most of Undertaker's combos. I don't think I actually knew how to do the tombstone pile driver, but I knew how to smack dudes with that tombstone over and over again.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It got
Yeah,
more
yeah.
advanced because in essence, they're just like, especially back then, they were just fighting games similar to a Street Fighter type of game, but
Kinda, yeah.
they did develop a grappling
in a ring.
system. Yeah, it was in a ring. It was certainly more advanced controls. I mean, you had your grappling, and then you had your different combos, same concept, but just
Mhm.
same style of game. But let me throw it around. Let me toss it over to you, Sumo. Just first time you played a wrestling game. What was the start? First one you remember playing?
I mean, the first one I remember playing was, I think it was literally called like Pro Wrestling, right? With Starman.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, 86. I was born in 87, so it wasn't too much longer before Pro Wrestling, and then the one you mentioned, WrestleMania for NES, had come out a couple of years later. Those are the very first games that I had been playing, man. And I'm looking at this list of like licensed pro wrestling games, and I don't think there's really one that I haven't played, except maybe some of the Japanese stuff.
a lot of
But
the
even
Fire
like
Pro
Power
stuff.
Move Pro Wrestling 2, you get your hands on an emulator, you could play that now. It's actually it's still a pretty dope game. Yeah, and then I got you, and then the Genesis hit, and I had WrestleMania, the arcade game, and I remember really loving WWF Raw.
I had that one. Yep.
I played Raw a ton.
And there's Royal Rumble too, which was very similar, I believe.
Royal Rumble was good too. Yeah, I just remember Raw being like so edgy, and you could do it. You could do a lot more. There were like more weapons, and
That makes sense. Yeah, it probably came out a little later, maybe. Maybe the Royal
Yeah, and
Rumble
of course
game came out first.
yeah, and of course Genesis had a little bit. I think it had 32-bit, right, as opposed to 16.
Well,
NES.
Did it have
Wait.
32? No, I think
I
they
thought-
made an adapter that had a 32. That was the 32X thing. That came out for the
Yes.
Oh, it
Genesis.
might have. Yeah, you're right.
Sega.
But the
If
regular
you had a
Sega
if you had a Genesis with the adapters, it just first of all you probably needed like 6 surge protectors to plug
Tower
those
of
fucking things in.
Doom.
My
'cause
cousin
it was
had that.
all.
I had
'cause
a
it was
cousin who
all
had a
the bricks.
32X, man, and he had Virtua Fighter on it, and that was like
Ooh.
it almost looked like PlayStation 1 graphics, like when you compare it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was so much better than regular Genesis graphics.
Except Genesis graphics hold up better.
Yeah.
Than PlayStation 1, obviously.
No, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But the 32X did kind of look like that. It almost
Yeah.
looked like the first Tekken, almost, you know.
And then yeah, so like PlayStation came out and you had Raw and Attitude, which was really cool, and the ECW games, which were
I'm gonna bring up Warzone because that game was absolute dog shit.
dog
I
shit.
used to
PS1.
love
Yep, was
Warzone
bad.
though.
It was
I
it
used to
was
love
it's it I think at the
It's not
time
good.
no, it was all you had at the
Yep.
time because this is right before Attitude and before Smackdown.
I think
and it
that's the
was
first one where you can make your own guy too, which
I
was
think
like a
so,
big deal.
but
That was like a
again,
big deal
it
to a
just
lot of people.
it was the typical PS1 graphics where it just looked like they like took a picture and like pasted it on and
Yeah,
like tried to animate it and it looked like shit.
out their faces like
Yeah,
this.
it's all
Yeah,
stretched out.
yeah.
I
And
had
I
I had
remember-
it for N64, but it didn't look much different. I
No,
can
it was.
tell you that.
I think no, it was
You know
insane.
what
It
was,
was
you know
bad.
what was cool about those games though was the wrestlers had great lines.
Oh, it was
If you
hilarious.
they-
The
remember,
dialogue was
Triple H,
hilarious.
yeah, Triple H would occasionally throw out like a "your ass is grass" and I'm gonna smoke it.
Yeah.
And that shit was cool. I enjoyed the quips in that game.
Yep.
Which to bring it back to the NES, that WrestleMania was the first licensed wrestling game, and it was right at that time where licensing was starting to pick up because you, like you mentioned, you only had pro wrestling before for all your pro wrestling or ice hockey or
Yeah.
like they were just like there weren't licensed, and even you look at some of the sports, it took a while to even get the league. Like you had like before you had like NHL 94, it was just NHL PA where
Yeah.
you had, and same with baseball, you had MLB PA and you didn't have the team names, but you had the players. So it was in that weird time of licensing was still very new and putting your name on video games, which were at that time still a fairly new concept. They hadn't really taken off yet. So companies weren't super eager to just slap their name on everything. And I would say, especially in '89, when WrestleMania came out, it was probably the beginning of, oh, wait, we can license this and make some money. And
Yeah.
I mean, we see what it is today with everything. The cost of if you want to make, I mean, I don't know how much money EA pays for Madden. Terribly. Hate it. Bring back 2K. Stop the monopoly.
Wow.
I'm tired of this.
NFL drop EA. Hashtag. Wait, the other
Um,
way around. Hashtag NFL drop EA.
EA drop
Yeah.
NFL.
2K
Yeah.
had cooler tackles for sure.
yeah. And just
Bring back a
everything.
good Blitz game.
I was just about to say Blitz. I want
Mm-hmm.
Midway to make another one. Let's get Midway back on board here and make another Blitz game.
Let's recreate Midway.
Well, they re-released it as an
Yeah, it's not
the-
even Midway anymore, right? It's NetherRealm is basically what
No.
Midway used to be.
Which is
I think so.
basically Warner
No.
Brothers.
I don't remember exactly.
Well, I
Midway
know
was
because I know
hard.
Midway was a Mortal Kombat game, and I know obviously NetherRealm that's the studio that runs all the Mortal Kombat games nowadays. So I just kind of figured that they were in some way kind of maybe associated, but
Okay,
I might be
okay,
wrong on
guys, hear me out.
They
hear
are
me out.
associated with wrestling because they made WWF WrestleMania the arcade game.
Yes,
that. Oh,
but hear me
see?
out. Hear
To
me
bring
out
it
very
back.
quickly.
That was a Midway game. I forgot. Yes,
Hulk Hogan and Mortal Kombat 12.
Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was in Mortal Kombat 12.
No, I'm saying when they
Wait.
inevitably make a Mortal
Oh.
Kombat 12.
Just throw
Hulk
Hulk Hogan
Hey,
in it.
everybody
They can-
wanted Shaggy from Scooby Doo. Okay, we could get Hulk Hogan in there, brother.
What about Taker?
That'd
I mean,
be better.
Taker-
Actually,
that
that
would
would
fit
be-
better.
That
Like,
would actually
they
be more
can-
logical.
Taker
Or the
Mortal
Fiend.
Kombat.
like
or the
they can
Fiend.
they can do whatever they want at this
Or the
point. Is
Fiend.
Can Mortal Kombat technically license whatever they want and just put
I
whatever
mean-
characters name at this point?
I don't think
It's
they
all
would ever
DLC,
allow
so they can
it.
make deals later.
Doesn't WWE have like a phone game that's kind of like Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, but I don't think I
We
play it
don't
if
talk.
they do.
How dare you mention that?
I'm
I
just
guess I
saying,
mean,
there's
I
your-
guess
there's your concept. Fucking blow it out, you know?
I guess
Yeah.
it counts.
They have
all the mobile
WWF
games, but we'll get
champions
there.
on mobile, and apparently that's like a big hit.
I
I have
They
no
had
idea
that,
what
like-
it is. That's
They had
just
that
what I
gem
hear.
matching game that was on there that like even I played that for a little bit. I had it, but it was just
That
like
might
I
be
think it's
one.
like the card battle thing. Like you get cards and you got to match gems, and your cards like do different moves and shit like that. I don't know.
Okay, you're
So-
scaring
so
me
it
now.
was
I hate
the- it
mobile
was-
gaming.
it was the RPG card game version of whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was like a cross between like a card game and a fucking like Bejeweled thing. You know what I mean? It was like
Oh,
a cross
yeah.
between them both. Like you had to get cards to like boost your stats, and then you had to like match gems to like do moves with the guy that you were using. But you had to unlock guys by getting cards.
That makes sense.
So it was
I
like
don't know, man.
both.
Mobile games are there to just get you to
I
spend $5 at a time on bullshit.
which is why I eventually always stopped playing them, especially ones like that, because it's just like, all right, I've got basically as far as you can get without spending money, and I'm not going to
Right.
spend money on this. So
Exactly.
The last mobile game I played was The Simpsons Tapped Out very early on.
Tapped Out. That's wrestling related, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
somebody
Bret Hart
went
was
in-
on The Simpsons and stuff. So yeah, it's all blah blah
This is
blah
true.
wrestling.
That
This
is
is true. But some money was spent on that, and then somebody figured out a glitch for me to get like a ridiculous amount of donuts, and then I built everything, and it got boring, and I literally have not played a mobile game since, and I hate mobile games.
Fair.
You wanna
And
know
that's
the
why we're
best-
talking about console games or arcade
Yes.
games.
Oh, well, let's get weird for a second because you
Yes.
want
Okay, I'm always down to get weird.
Let's talk about everyone talks about like the No Mercies, and yeah, those games are awesome. We've all
And we
played
will
the
talk about the No
we'll,
Mercies.
we'll
at some
talk
point.
about it, of course, but let's talk about games that you guys probably don't even know about. Like,
boy.
and speaking of mobile games, it's probably the best mobile wrestling game I've ever played, and it was literally called TNA Wrestling.
That,
I don't know if you guys
Huh.
remember this. I had it on like a flip. It was like a flip phone, right?
wow.
And I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. It was a 2000 and it came out in 2008 for Verizon Wireless. And the coolest thing about this game was like its story mode. You created your wrestler, you took him through a professional career. You start out through like literally backyard wrestling, and you work your way through the ranks of, like TNA, and you're like, interacting with guys like Sting and Kevin Nash and Eric Young and Booker T and Abyss. And the moves were selected like your typical like card game nowadays. You guys have seen card video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but except it was moves, and so you take turns basically attacking, and you could like
all
select moves in certain orders to like create combos, and then you get like powerful like special moves that you could use you could execute through quick time events. It was a dope game. It was like a 10 to 12 hour story experience, and you could it was like there were choices you could make throughout. So you could be like make choices to be a face or a heel, and then
That's
go
pretty
back
cool,
and
yeah.
do it over, and you'd like interact with different people.
That's pretty cool. I never
Mm.
actually played that one.
Yeah, look it up.
It's
TNA
after you
Wrestling.
mentioned it, I started looking it up,
Yeah.
and it does look pretty cool. I got especially
This
for
is
considering how long ago it came out.
this is giving me throwback vibes because it says like an IGN article. It just says Total Nonstop Action Wrestling hits the iPhone and iPod Touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, iPod Touch. Wow, I had one of those.
Fantastic game, dude.
I mean, for 2008, it doesn't look too bad. Just some of
No,
the
it don't.
screenshots that are here.
It was
It's a
good, and
shame
it
you
was
probably can't
difficult,
download
too.
this game now.
I don't know.
I doubt it. From
No, it's
14
not. It's
from
not
14 years
on-
ago. There's no way.
That is not
Yeah.
something people would give priority to gaming preservation for.
I don't believe.
And
I don't believe
it's not.
still on
It
the
says
App
right
Store.
here on the page, it's no longer available for download. But
That's
it
awesome.
also says it's funny because like as soon as I googled it, the first thing that comes up is like long forgotten good wrestling mobile game. Like people like apparently there's articles written about like how good this game was. So
Which is
that's pretty
crazy.
funny. Yeah.
Bring it back, even though
Bring it back. Sorry.
I don't know how you do it. Someone come up with a version. AEW come up with a version of this. I guess
Yeah. Yeah, well,
WWE's not. They already got mobile games.
Speaking of which, AEW, I know they have Skylar. I know you mentioned something about the game the other day, right? Like, did they
Leaked
release more
footage.
stuff?
Did you
I haven't
guys
seen
see
it.
Evil Uno and Cole Cabana were at Gamescom showing it off.
Oh, they let Cole Cabana on an AEW program.
And he was wearing an AEW shirt.
Oh.
Get out of here.
Okay.
Anyway.
Dad jokes. They showed what? 10, 20 minutes of footage, Sumo?
They show
10,
something
20
like that.
minutes. I've only seen like 15 seconds.
Oh no, they were showing it off for
They had
quite a while.
they had
Really?
a full match.
They had
I
a full
think.
match of Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole, and they were like explaining it along the way.
Mm.
Apparently,
missed
you get
this.
like one finisher and 5 signatures or whatever, but it very much looked
It's what we all wanted.
WrestleMania
right?
2000 No Mercy ish.
Yeah.
As
And
long as-
also think, and I do want to talk about these games a little
yeah.
bit. Def Jam Vendetta.
Ooh, good one.
I am
I
looking
mean, I'm
here.
personally a Fight for New York fan, but still.
Good one.
I actually never played the Def Jam games.
Okay.
Oh, they're good.
Vendetta was
I heard
very,
they're great. I heard they're awesome games.
Not the third one. The third one was just weird.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it for the life of me.
Sumo, because I was a little curious myself. I am looking it up, and sure enough, there is a 10.5-minute clip on YouTube of Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole full match gameplay.
Oh,
Yep.
hell
And
yeah.
they break everything down.
I know what I'm going to be watching as soon as we're done with this.
So there
I
were
gotta check it out.
there were two things about those games that really did it for me back in the day. Well, three things. One was the customization was cool. I
Yeah.
loved having like stables and factions of my own guys competing with the superstars and being able to like edit, not to a huge extent, but just enough to get by. So if like Chris Jericho changed his hair, you could probably get it pretty close. So it was the customization, the way the wrestlers responded to things you were trying to do in the game. Like the AI was very sharp.
Yep.
And a lot of those moves that you would execute also had the same animation as reversals. So you kind of never knew until you actually hit it. And also lastly, it was the story that made those games what they are.
Those were good career modes.
So AEW, I'm sure it's going to play like amazing. It's literally being, put in the hands of guys who love video games. I know it's going to play well, but I'm just hoping that like this, they have a kick-ass branching story mode like those old style games.
That would be cool. I always kind of like speaking of No Mercy, like we were talking before, like the way you can separate where you want to go on the tree for the story modes. Like you can just run through, like, all right, you can go fight your rival over here, or you can go fight for the #1 contendership over here, or something else happens over here. But it kept it interesting, and that way, like you can play through different times with the same character, with different characters, and you can run through different stories every time, which is the thing I liked about it. So replayability is a big thing for me when it comes to video games in general. And the biggest problem that I've had with wrestling games in the past, I'd say 5 to 10 years, are they lack a lot of replayability to me. The old Smackdown, shut your mouth and here comes the pain, and it's Smackdown versus Raw. I felt like those had a lot more playability than the games of nowadays.
Agreed.
Yeah. Back when the games weren't coming out annually, remember how good they were and felt good, good to play. You just play them over and over and over and over again. And now with these newer ones, a year pops around and you're like itching to get something new in your hands.
Honestly, in general, I'm just not a fan of annual games.
No.
Biannual
I
should
feel
be
like
at
it takes
best.
away from it. Yeah.
Like I always said, like with Madden, for example, it should be put out a game 1 year, the next year do a big patch with like updated rosters and stuff, maybe pay $10, who the fuck knows, if you need to get greedy, and then year after that, then put out another one.
Yeah.
Same thing with wrestling games. Honestly, I think maybe that year and a half, that extra time off for 2K22, I haven't played it. The demo's sitting on my PS5. But
no,
as I've heard, at the very least, it's much improved.
No, for 2K22, I guess jump to today. Well, one, I was excited for the GM mode to come back because I was always a fan of it back in the day. I'm a big fan of Football Manager, which, if you don't know, is literally just a soccer simulator. You just take over a team. You don't actually play the game. You just manage everything across the game.
Do you like NFL Head Coach too? Did you ever play that one?
I did play it. It's okay. It's not my favorite.
Didn't you try to hunt down the head coach on like eBay or something?
I did get it. I bought the.
Yeah, I remember that.
I bought the Madden like anniversary edition that came with both the Madden game and head coach.
That was 20. That was Madden 20.
Right.
That was the one that had Brett Favre on it, and you were able to download, because that was the year he went to the Jets, so you were able to download him in a Jets jersey.
It had his cover. It had his purple people eater.
Did that not age well?
No. He that was before the purple people eater. That was when he was riding his private jet with Jen Sturgis.
His Danny Woodhead.
Am I allowed to say her name?
Wait, the statute of limitations. Anyway,
she did a little bit for AEW in the beginning. I remember.
Did she?
Oh yeah.
Way to bring it back.
Really?
In, but okay.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. Yeah,
she was like
it's kind of a weird link to wrestling right there.
I don't know if she was like a backstage interviewer, but she did like AEW does that like top 5 moments like clip on Twitter or whatever, and like she used to like host that video or certain some other
Okay.
stuff. I
Like
don't
do
think she
like a
does it.
voiceover or something
No, like she was in like she like did the
in the
video.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't think she still does it, but
That's
if you felt like searching it out, I'm sure you'd find something.
Yeah.
To bring
Uh,
it back
I do
to
remember that year when it came with the head coach because I had the anniversary edition. That's
Yeah.
why I remembered that.
No,
So it came with
I
with
didn't-
both games.
I didn't hate. I definitely didn't hate head coach. I didn't like the concept because the original one came with the headset where you had to like where you could like shout commands into it. That's too much.
Yeah.
Football Manager where you just the PC version specifically. They have an Xbox version, but it's just completely fucked trying to move across the screen like you're playing a
Console
PC
games
game.
are hard when it's stuff like that. Yeah.
When it's meant because you need your mouse to move around, click the different
Yeah.
menus and set your formation, set your lineup. So I'm a big fan of like simulators like that. So that's why I love GM mode because it wasn't really playing the game. It was obviously booking. So I was excited for that to come back this year. And just the gameplay is a lot more fun. Well, listen, anything's an upgrade from that 2K20 dog shit glitch fest.
It was bad.
Like, I mean, I think we've all seen
I
clips
didn't-
of
that was
I
a
haven't
meat
bought
gifts
a
with sounds
WWE
dream treasure trove.
right.
I haven't bought a WWE game until I did buy 22 because I was just like I had heard good reviews. I was curious and it was on sale, so I was like, why not? But I had until then I had not bought a wrestling game or at least a WWE game in I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 years. And part of the reason is because of every year, especially within the past 2 years, I'd say all I saw were just YouTube videos of glitches and just bad reviews and problems and everything just shitting all over it.
Yeah.
So I just avoided them for the past like 5 years up until this new one, which
No,
I
and
haven't gotten that far into, but it definitely plays a lot better than any of the
Yeah.
ones I've played in the past few years.
I hated
And-
the submission system they had going on.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's just button mashing. There's no like
I don't even
skill
think it's-
to reverse it.
Not the one in 2K22. What they had in like the few games leading up to
With
it.
the joysticks and stuff where you have to
Yes.
like, I
Yes,
know what you're talking about.
hated
Just
that.
Yeah,
guess
that was
correctly and hope for
annoying,
the
yeah.
best.
That
Yeah.
that pretty much ruined the game for me because I could not figure it out, and I like doing submissions. And
Yeah. No,
Which,
that
by
was
the
rough.
way, I'm just gonna another thing that I think kids today are spoiled with. We always say this when we're talking about like when we bring up a Blockbuster Video and all that old shit.
we're old men yelling at clouds.
It is, but and I know, but I prefer it today because you can just go into the creator community or whatever the hell it's called, and you can just download anything you want.
You can download entire rosters.
Whereas I remember back in the SmackDown versus Raw days, if you wanted like AJ Styles, let's just go from the height of TNA. If you want to put AJ
Prepare
Styles,
a day for that.
exactly,
Yeah.
you could. People
That
were
was
good.
your Tuesday.
Yeah, but people were good because people would post.
I wasn't.
People would post online how to make the creator wrestler, so you could go get all the different codes for the body, and you had to spend all that time inputting that into a custom wrestler to make AJ Styles or whoever you want. So I used to spend days making like the whole TNA roster or like old WCW guys or whatever to get like the game mode that I want. I'm like, all right, I want to put all these TNA dudes into like a GM mode or whatever the hell I wanted to do back in the old SmackDown versus Raws. But kids today are spoiled because they can just simply hit one thing and
Online
download.
community, man.
It's for the better.
It really is. Like it sounds like we're grumpy men complaining about our past, but we're just jealous that we didn't have it sooner. That's all.
Because I had to spend 3 hours editing the fucking eyebrows and eyes and the cheekbones and all the shit.
Yep.
So I
And then
did
the
AJ
move sets too.
Styles.
You had to get all the right
Oh my-
moves
yeah,
too.
you
That was a whole
couldn't-
nother issue.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what they won't have? That satisfaction of like when you like I remember creating Jericho when he came back, like the Y2K stuff. And I had to make his pants like with all the letters, you know, and I got the download for that. And it took me like 3 days to do it. But I remember when I finished it, like the satisfaction I got of knowing that I created a character that looked about as close to in-game as you could possibly get. That's a good feeling that kids today won't get unless they
won't.
put the work in.
So I do kind of want to segue as far as deep character creators and online downloading communities go. I don't know. I have the latest one, but Sumo, you're probably more familiar with this. Fire Pro.
Oh yeah, dude. I picked Fire Pro up the new one when it came out on PC. And I actually had never played a Fire Pro game before.
Oh, Really?
So
Okay.
that was my I had seen videos obviously
But
on
most of them
YouTube.
only were really. It was kept in Japan for the longest time.
It was, dude, cool. Probably the coolest wrestling simulator I've ever played. Like,
Yeah.
I have just as much fun playing that as I do selecting 8 dudes and just watching them fight.
I have I have Fire Pro World and a couple of the DLC, and I try to play it and I'm just like, oh my god, this is daunting.
Yeah, I'm
It's
bad
a
at it.
difficult.
Like,
It's
I
a
don't know.
difficult game.
It like
it?
they got it. They have it, CJ. They have it down to like the detail and everything.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've almost bought it so many times. Like that's like one of those games that I always see in the PlayStation store where I'm just like, do I want to try it?
If you
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you
not
not
quite
only
cheap
want to-
enough, maybe not now.
Not only
you
can
want-
you create like wrestling characters, but you can get into like you can tweak the AI. So like
Everything.
you know, if you got a guy that if you create Ric Flair, you can have him taunt after doing specific moves, just like he
yeah.
would in real life.
Yep.
It gets
and
it really gets
just about
wonky at
every
the
move
championship.
is in there.
That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's one of those ones I've always looked at, but I've never actually like bit, fucking bit the
And
bullet
it goes back pretty good. Like if like you just do like a quick eBay thing, like obviously there was the PlayStation 2 game, Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, but if you do a deeper dive, you have like Super Fire Pro Wrestling X, which is Super Famicom, so it's
Yep.
you can't even pop it into an
Oh,
SNES.
Fire Pro goes back to to Famicom, I believe.
Yeah, no, no, like if you eBay some of this stuff, like there's a lot. Like if you're a collector, that the prices aren't insane on eBay, but for some of the stuff, but you still, if it's a Japanese only game, you can't even play it here,
right.
unless you have obviously you need a Super Famicom, but it's
And-
just
and-
it
and-
goes way back.
And you have to work on your kanji.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Or
It's
get
a
a
mother.
translated
It's a
manual.
mother.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
Fire
Japanese
Pro
ones,
is
man.
sick.
Although we
No.
are in the we do have emulations.
No,
I
I'm all
mean
about
we
emulators.
I'm sorry.
Bro, don't even cough.
I don't
I've been
care.
playing
Cancel
fucking.
me.
I've been playing
Whatever.
fucking.
Everybody
emulators
has their
for, like,
Raspberry Pis.
Am I the only one who like legitimately doesn't pirate anything? I don't have any I'm not technologically savvy enough to even know where to like get
No, dude,
emulators or how to
emulators
play
are
on
pretty-
computers or
Emulators are
I've been-
pretty easy. I've
I'm like
had
I'm the only
emulators for
person.
like.
I'm the only person who doesn't have a VPN, who doesn't have emulators.
Okay, I
Yeah.
do have a VPN. but-
I don't have anything. I'm like the
No.
most like legit person in the world for some reason. I don't know why. Like I need to be off the grid and I'm
We gotta
not,
hook
and I
this
should
guy
be.
up. We gotta hook this
Somebody's
guy
got to teach me some things. I
No,
need to learn about
emulators-
technology.
Listen,
Like
emulators.
I don't know
are
how to crack any kind of coding or nothing.
emulators are great when you realize that if you want to have an NES collection, you need thousands of dollars if you want to do it right. Or you can download one zip file that will fit on like
Yeah.
any fucking
Get a
thumb drive.
Raspberry Pi.
I was supposed to
Spend
get a Raspberry Pi like
$100 on a Raspberry Pi, a good
Yep.
little case, a controller, and you could have 1,000 games on your TV.
Exactly.
I was
And if-
supposed to get one like years ago. A buddy of mine was
But
supposed
you
to
know,
hook me up, and
it's
it just
The
not
never,
other
even
like,
thing you can
never
do
happened.
is those NES and Super NES classics. You could also just
you can mod
load all
those.
those into those too.
They can mod those too.
Yeah.
Dude,
Easily.
I'm so computer.
I don't know
dumb.
how, but I
So
heard it's
computer
easy.
dumb. I'm so dumb.
I'll hook
No,
you up.
it's
I'll send you some articles.
yeah.
no, it's
it might
pretty
help
easy.
me. I'm serious. Like,
DJ, I will say I have not like torrented or anything in like
that was the last
a
thing I
good
ever
long
did that was
time.
like illegal. Was like back in the torrent days. I used to like torrent all my music. That was it. That was it. Like I used to use Pirate Bay and Demonoid, and that I haven't done anything since. And I don't download music
Demonoid.
anymore because Spotify's a thing. So I don't even do that anymore. Yeah, Demonoid.
Extreme Wrestling Torrents.net. Anyway,
he said it, not me.
I'm not even aware. See, I'm not even in the know of these things. Someone's got to smarten me up.
You guys want to know some crazy bit of trivia about sumo? That's
Oh boy.
that
Yes.
relates to wrestling video games. When I
Yes.
was a
course.
kid, you know, back in the day when like you could just create web pages, like Homestead was free, Angel
Mhm.
Fire was free. I had
Yes, it
I had a Smackdown Just Bring It fan page. Right around the time like Smackdown Hotel was becoming really popular. and I would spend, I was a kid, so I'd spend all day on that thing, updating with new screenshots, every little tidbit of information I could get. So much so that I started getting emails from random people thinking I was an actual developer of the game and asking me like, is Chris Jericho going to be in it? Does he do the power? Can you do the fucking walls of Jericho on the ladder? And I had literally hundreds of emails.
That's so funny.
And I was a kid, so obviously I had time to answer every single one of them as a developer of SmackDown.
Oh
Here,
my God.
here comes just bring it. But
That's great.
yeah, I had a SmackDown fan page.
Now, Just Bring It was the first PS2 one.
Just
right?
Bring It. Just
Or
Bring It
the-
wasn't good.
Yeah,
It was
Just
not
Bring
good.
It was not good.
it
Here
wasn't.
Comes
good,
the
but it
Pain is
looked
when it got
cool.
good.
It
Here
looked
No,
comes
cool.
the
shut your
pain.
mouth.
Here Comes the Pain, I thought was like my favorite one out of that SmackDown era before it came
No.
to the SmackDown vs. Raws and stuff.
No, Here Comes the Pain was the best one, but Shut Your Mouth was very, very solid.
Yeah,
Shut-
no,
Ju-
Shut Your Mouth was
just-
good.
Just Bring It
Yeah.
was I remember because SmackDown 1 was good. First of all, anybody remember the entrances on SmackDown 1? It was just the
Just the
whole,
screen.
Just
the
the
whole
video
fucking
and you
screen.
walking in
Yeah.
front of it.
It's
with
just
the- yeah.
me. It's just this.
You didn't actually, right. You,
Or you could just
it only-
skip to the D-Lo
yeah.
and be like,
right. It only
You're
looked
looking
like
at
you
the
were
real
moving.
deal now.
Yeah,
I love D'Lo.
and then he'd look like he's climbing the turnbuckle.
Mhm. But it was great. And then SmackDown 2. Why am I
same
blanking?
thing,
on-
same thing.
No. What was the name of it? It was, oh my God.
Know your role?
Yes.
Yeah,
That
I
one
couldn't-
was, I
That was
probably
great.
put the most time into that one.
I probably did too. And then
put
SmackDown Just
so
Bring
much
It, which
time.
wasn't good. And then Shut Your Mouth. And then Here Comes the Pain. Very good.
You
And this
know
was
when-
also the days when you didn't just have one game. You had a different game on every console. So
Yeah.
you needed if you had them all, you had 3 different wrestling games that you could choose from at the time. Whether it was almost like the consoles had their own brand split. You had SmackDown on PlayStation, you had Raw on Xbox, which Raw 1 was dog shit. Raw 2 was fun.
I was going to ask, I never touched those.
Raw 1 was really bad. I remember that.
Yeah, I have. It's
It
funny.
looks
I like last year when I've been rebuying some of these, I bought Raw 2 for Xbox, and yeah, it holds up. It's pretty fun. And
cool
then
camera angles.
Day of Reckoning on GameCube and
Those are good
WrestleMania
games.
19 also
Yeah, those
fun.
were good
Yeah.
games. Yeah.
I had WrestleMania 19 for GameCube.
I
I
had that.
remember that. That played more like an arcade game than an actual wrestling game. I felt like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, very in line with like No Mercy, but quicker.
Yep.
Yeah. And I felt like guys like it was weird because like like if there was like a tag team match and there's multiple guys in the ring or something like that, like you go suplex a guy. If the guy you were suplexing hit the guy behind him, the guy would fall down. And, like,
Yes.
everybody would just be down in the ring and it would just be like, well, this sucks.
Ooh, you had WrestleMania X8, you had WrestleMania 19, Day of Reckoning, and Day of Reckoning 2 on GameCube.
Yeah.
Day of
X8
Reckoning
was the one we
great.
had.
Great, good story modes in the Day of Reckoning.
Never played Day of Reckoning.
I
Never played that
remember.
one.
Fuck,
Yeah,
I remember which game in the career mode you have to beat the Undertaker in an Iron Man match, and it was impossible to do. So I remember
An hour-long Iron
I don't
Man
think
match?
it was an hour. Maybe
It was probably like 10
maybe
minutes
10,
or something.
10 to 15 minutes. But I remember
Yeah.
I would get one pin on the Undertaker, and I did it so many times that I started running around the ring, crawling back in at 9 and getting back out to just run the clock out. Because if you tried to beat it fairly, you had no
Yeah.
chance.
No, I do
Undertaker
remember
was
that.
so good.
Undertaker would just whoop your ass every
Yeah.
time.
I
I
was
think he
like-
started off with like saved finishers too. So you just like
Oh,
were going in
goddamn it.
handicapped.
God damn
Like
it.
you were just fucked. You were just like, okay, cool. I just ate a last ride. It's 30 seconds in the match. That's cool.
Remember the old games, like when they'd throw you into you got a big match coming up, and then the week before, like they hurt you, so you have to go in
Yeah.
a pay-per-view match with like half your health.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
mean, that's
You're
how
come
gonna
out like-
face the
come out
Big
limping.
Show, and you've
Come out
got a
limping to the
broken
ring.
leg. You're like, fuck.
So actually, you know what? While we're kind of like on that era, because I feel like a lot of that happened in the No Mercy game. I do
Yeah.
want to spend a
Oh,
little
wow.
bit of time on No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 because those were like I remember in my childhood, those were like the two big games. I mean,
I-
obviously we spent a little time on the Smackdown games for PlayStation, but the N64 crew, like that was more my crew.
Here's the
Obviously,
thing.
you were more Nintendo.
Don't forget
guys.
about WCW Revenge.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
I want to talk about those
That's
as
what I
well.
was gonna say.
Arguably better than WrestleMania 2000.
No, that's fair. That is very
Let's.
fair.
I also want to throw out World Tour because that game sucked.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Oh, very much.
Nitro. Nitro.
I don't remember playing Nitro. Was
I
it
had
bad?
that one. It was bad.
That
Fuck.
one was just as bad as World Tour, basically.
There's
But
swings.
But anyway, go on with the N64.
but yeah,
the good
that whole
ones.
N64 era. I know like a lot of people kind of shit on WrestleMania 2000, which I don't understand because
I
I
don't
thought
get it.
WrestleMania
Hell
2000
no,
was
that's the-
great.
That's what
Oh,
like
that's good.
sucked me into wrestling games.
Look
Look
like,
at the list of
every
N64
year.
wrestling games we just threw out as crap. By default, WrestleMania 2000 is the second best of the group.
Yeah,
I
Or
think-
third at worst.
And I think like people shit on it just because like people like No Mercy so much better, which No
Yeah.
Mercy is a better game, but like, is it really
By far.
that much better that
Yes.
WrestleMania needs to get shit on? Like,
no,
Not-
but
no,
it is
no.
better.
No.
but I mean, it is better. It had better storylines. It had better creation mode. Like there was a lot
It
more
had-
going for it.
It had a lot more match types.
Yeah,
or
match types
at the
too,
very
yeah.
yeah.
But I want to spend a little time on that and ask you guys, like, obviously, what was your favorite? I think mine was No Mercy. I think a lot of people's was, but if not, what was it and why? And what were your favorite parts about that era, about the N64 era? Real quick, just before you guys answer, I'll say like my favorite thing was the creation, was making myself, my friends, making stables, doing tag teams, playing through story modes with me and my friends as tag teams and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, you guys, I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
I mean, it's not that No Mercy isn't the best. It's probably, if we're talking about the N64 era, I probably just played WrestleMania 2000 more because being a kid with not a whole lot of money to spend in N64 games were they $70
They were 60
for the
I think,
cartridge?
Yeah,
at
expensive,
least.
bro.
Minimum
Yeah.
60.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
at the time it was probably like, you already have a wrestling game. What do you need another one for? So I probably had WrestleMania 2000. So like obviously later on I would get No Mercy, get later on down the line, but I played WrestleMania 2000 more. So by default, that's probably my favorite that I remember the most from that time.
Yeah.
For that reason only.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
And I still love WrestleMania 2000. I
Mhm.
still think it's a great game, but
Yeah,
And as much as I look at World Tour now that it sucks to go to the WCW game, I had that one also.
Mhm.
But I can look back and say this game wasn't as fun as I remember.
there is a good version of World Tour out there, but it's not branded. It's for PlayStation. It's called Power Move Pro Wrestling. Have you heard of Power Move?
Yeah.
Fuck,
it-
No.
that was
really,
Japanese
no.
though, right?
Yeah, but you could get it here.
I know. I feel like I've heard of it.
It was like a
Maybe-
bargain bin version of it, but it was arguably better. It had like random
figure.
dudes. Yeah, like one dude was called like Agent
Oh,
Orange.
I recognize this.
Yes, that's-
case.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's
Yeah.
bringing
Oh,
back
I'm
some-
I'm
Wait,
sit-
hold on. Now I gotta
well,
look
I'm-
this up. What was it called?
I'm sitting on eBay.
Power Move
Pro.
Power Move Pro Wrestling. It was like a budget PlayStation
Let's
game.
take a look at this.
Is it more expensive now on eBay than it was back then?
It might-
Probably.
Because like $13 on eBay, that's not terrible.
Yeah, I don't
This
really
was
recognize
this was
this
an
one.
okay. This was a better one of those.
Yep.
I mean, it's
I remember-
active.
I remember seeing
It is
this.
Activision.
Still
so it
developed,
makes
yeah,
sense.
developed by Ukes. It
I'm
had
looking at
just
the,
random
looking-
people.
I'm looking at the roster right here. You got Zombie, you got Chain Gang, you have Malibu Mike, the Egyptian, Area 51, Orange, just Orange.
Agent
El
Orange.
Tremblor, Commandant, like come on. Danny McGee, there it is. Danny McGee. Danny McGee. That's the one. That's my guy. That's who I'm
Is he,
picking
re-
every
is he
time.
related to
Two
is he
lanes?
related to Two Lanes?
Two Lanes McGee. That's an old reference. Nobody's getting
Yeah.
that one.
It's a good
Ah.
one.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's I was on a wrestling trip too. Two Lanes McGee. That's funny.
Yep. to Wild
Anyway,
Wings.
but yeah, no, I never played that one. That's pretty funny. Yeah,
It's just the list goes
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
Yeah, but
crazy.
those old school N64 games, man. I remember when I was in school, I would literally daydream about going home and playing that game. And I would because you could make pay-per-views too, which was awesome. And you could
That's
say
cool,
and you
yeah.
could save them
Yeah.
and then play them with your friends. And so I would create all my friends and I would literally write like pay-per-views and finishes and book the matches,
Yeah.
and book the storylines all day in school. And then on the weekends, my friends would come over and we'd have the pay-per-view. That's what I
That's
remember
awesome.
most about playing those games. Yeah, and the sheer and also the sheer amount of stuff you could unlock.
Yeah.
Just absolutely asinine amount of stuff.
All the characters back in the day.
The
moves.
moves.
Yep, the moves. I always thought it was funny. Like once you start getting through the game and you think you unlock like all the wrestlers, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wait, you can get Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, and
Yeah.
Vince McMahon and Shane and Stephanie and
Cactus Jack.
like, oh yeah, Cactus Jack and Dude Love. Like you don't realize like, oh wow, there's a lot more to this game than meets the eye, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think that's what really made those special. Even back when we were talking about like WrestleMania 2000, some of the secret, like the creative character heads were like actual wrestlers that they didn't throw in the game, and or alternate versions of your favorite wrestlers. That's what really kicked it off, man. And then No Mercy just blew that shit wide open.
Yep.
I just found a game that set everything back for years. WCW Backstage Assault.
Never
Oh
touched that one.
God.
It only
Play
took
that.
How
place.
dare you, Mike?
It
Is it that
only.
bad,
How
huh?
dare you?
Well, it's got a
besmirch
2.
this podcast by mentioning WCW Backstage.
Now I gotta look this up. I've never seen this game.
You don't want to.
No,
Apparently not.
Just like its name, it only took place in backstage areas.
Oh, God.
It's N64. It said that it was so bad that an easy port to PlayStation 2 was canceled.
Yeah, it was a sequel to what was the game that came before it, where it was actually like Mayhem.
Mayhem, yeah.
Oh my God.
Mayhem. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I played a bunch of that game. It was
let's not, while we're on not the bad games, let's not forget about the ECW wrestling games, which were just exact replicas of oh my God, it was on
Attitude and Warzone.
Attitude and Warzone, and both ECW games.
Which those games were terrible.
Yeah, and ECW had 2 games, and it was essentially the exact same game twice.
Imagine if ECW came out with their version of No Mercy. How cool that would have been.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you could just port it with all the ECW wrestlers, wow.
You could probably do
hardcore revolution and anarchy rules. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I never played those ones either.
I might have one of those.
I have anarchy rules still.
Yeah, I have to look through my PS1 games. I definitely might have one of these.
But like I was like a ECW, like I don't think my parents really let me watch ECW as a kid. I used to go over to my friend's house on like Saturday nights, be like, oh, I'm staying over at Travis's house. But really
don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, we were gonna, all right.
I knew
don't watch any crap
ECW.
TV. And then we'd watch ECW at like 1 a.m, followed by Dawson's Creek at 2 a.m.
Ah,
That's a good combo.
It was a fantastic.
I will say this.
I knew.
Just one of those like ECW late night, like when it's just the compilations in like 2000. That's how I discovered Linkin Park. They did a replay of a match, and One Step Closer was playing. It was Hybrid Theory came out that week, and it's like, all right.
And Paulie probably didn't pay Linkin Park to use it. He apparently did that a lot.
I got a good question for you guys. What's the last wrestling game you played where you said that this is like as close to perfection as you can get for a wrestling game?
13.
13 was a good one. I remember I had 13. That was like the last one I really enjoyed. I feel like.
I think it was 14 for me.
I think 13 was the last one I had. 13 was the one with Punk on the cover, right? Or
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. It was whatever one with Punk was on the cover.
13, yeah.
13. It was the one where they switched the fighting style up, right, for the first time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was the
Because
one.
that's another one. They had 12 come out and it wasn't very good. And then in the year they changed a bunch of shit and actually had a good one.
They changed
And-
everything in that.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think I had 12 and 13, and then
Yeah.
13 I think might have been the last one I got. And like I said, then I just started seeing that they were all kind of terrible, so I just stayed away from them. But 13 was really good.
To be
I still think
perfect,
like if I had to pick like my favorite of all time, it would probably have to be either No Mercy or Here Comes the Pain. But like depending on like which era I felt like playing, like if I
Yeah.
felt like, you know what I mean. But
I think
those
I
are
think
probably
it's
my two favorites.
it's Here Comes the Pain for me. The SmackDown versus Raws had a lot of fun.
They were fun.
They were
but Here
fun.
Comes the Pain was
And it's
too much
almost
fun.
if you could put
Here
the
comes
GM
pain.
if you could put GM mode into Here Comes the Pain,
yeah.
that's like my perfect wrestling game.
Yeah.
And it's not even we could sit here and say, oh well, if you combine this and that, like no, I simply want one game mode inserted in that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the gameplay or the characters themselves. It's just if I had that, it'd be perfection. But even missing that, I still think you're, and so much so that I paid $65 for the complete in-box version of Here Comes the Pain on eBay like a year ago. And I was like, I
Wow.
really don't. I was like, I wish I didn't have to spend this much, but I'm fucking doing it because if I want this game, I want the whole thing.
I gotta
I don't-
look through like I know I have some stuff somewhere.
If you have like, not that you'd sell it at this point, it's not like you
Yeah.
obviously want the game, but like I was like, fuck, $65. I'm
That's a
like,
lot.
I'm like, click, I'm doing it. I didn't pay
It's
this
a new
much
game. You're spending
Yeah, I know.
new
And
game
it- and
money
it-
on a game
right.
that's been out for 20 years.
And
Not
I'm
20
sure-
years, but
close.
close to it. Yeah. close to it.
05 it came out. But I'm just like, I got to do it. That's how much I enjoyed that game. But I was like, fuck it. It was like a day I bought NCAA football for like 70 something. And then the next day I'm like, I'm on this roll. Let's go wrestling games. Yep. Fuck it. Sign me up. Send it to me.
Send it.
I remember putting an astronomical amount of time into SmackDown versus Raw 2006.
Yeah.
It
That
was
was
like,
right.
I
that
remember
was the
that
next
one being
one,
really
yeah.
good too.
yeah, it was the
Oh, yep.
second game that came out, like a SmackDown versus Raw came out. And remember it was like it was the first time they really went big on presentation, changed the camera angle. And then the next one was 2006. And that was really kind of, they brought it all together. The submission system was great because you had guys that you'd actually crawl for the ropes.
Yep.
And that had a badass story mode too.
I'd say if we're gonna talk about that era, my favorites had to be SmackDown vs. Raw from 06 to 08. I felt like those 3 years, all 3 of those games were done really well. And I felt like that was just a really good stretch for them. I think in 08 was the year that they introduced ECW, so you had the third brand to play with too, which was cool.
And GM mode, I believe in that also.
Yeah, yes, I believe that's when it started coming out, was around that time. But that whole stretch of years from 06 to 08, those SmackDown vs. Raws were definitely my favorites out of those. And I remember that was around the time where Mike and Skylar, I'm sure you've probably heard some of the stories that we used to get back together with my friend Brad over at his house, and he had like a little crawl space above his attic, like one of those outdoor barn door crawl space up there. We used to go up there. He converted into a playroom, basically put up a pool table, a little TV, Xbox, made it a little hangout for us. And we used to go up there and get fucking completely smashed and just play 6-man ladder matches that would take 3.5 hours to fucking just finish one of them. Because every time one person, like we're all beating the shit out of each other. One person grabs a ladder, everyone's like, get him. And then all of a sudden you got like 5 dudes chasing you around because like, you're not winning this match, motherfucker.
We all have
And
that.
then-
Yeah, go ahead.
like 2 hours later, everybody's whole body, head to toe, all red. You punch them, they fall down and they lay there for 20 minutes. And that's what happens. Everyone's just laying around the ring for 20 minutes and you're just hoping that you're the first one up, or actually you're really hoping you're the second one up so you can knock the guy off the ladder and then climb up and take it down yourself. And that was the only way to win those matches. You just had to wait and get lucky.
Yep. Yep.
Story time
Story time with Scott.
with Skylar Strange, baby.
Baby.
So around, and this is mostly a story for to regale Sumo with.
Oh.
Around the time we were doing this podcast the first time around, I came up with an idea that I ended up challenging CJ to.
Which, by the way, we should have recorded that and made it an episode, but hindsight's 2020.
It's not it's not too late for the variation of that, but anyway.
That's true.
So I called it the Iron Liver match.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure this was 13, 2K13. I want to
Probably
say,
around that
or
time. Yeah, I'd say.
WWE 13, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I feel like we did this twice, but basically the concept is Iron Man match. I don't think we were brave enough to go the full hour.
I think we did 30. I think we did 30
pretty
minutes.
sure we did 30.
Respectable. Respectable.
Every time you pinned them, take a shot. Every time you submitted them, 2 shots.
Yep.
I feel like I schooled you with one
You
of them,
did.
and you
did.
might have schooled me the other one,
I don't
Or it
remember
came-
a second
or
one.
the other one was closer.
I
because-
don't remember a
wait,
second one. I
so
remember
it's-
the first one you beat me like I think like 9-6 or something like that.
No,
and
it was
like,
worse than that.
It was probably worse than that. And like half of them was probably submission. So I was like, like I was all the way in the bag. Like I
So
was
one
just
was-
stuffed in there, sealed up tight, tied off, thrown into the river. Like that's how gone I was.
So you're saying so you're saying you don't remember the second match. So you
Yeah,
need-
I know, but I remember the first one where I was fucking completely smashed.
so we need a rematch and we need Sumo to ref, and the ref just drinks whenever a pinfall or submission.
Oh.
See, now
That works.
I was gonna
because
say you
none
might have
of
to
us
do my
really
drinking
drink.
for me.
Yeah, none of
I-
us really drink, so
I
that
stopped
works out.
drinking, so yeah. How about this?
No,
We'll
we're doing an
we'll-
Iron Lung match.
We're gonna do an iron lung match. Yeah, that'll be. Oh my god.
That's our variation, which that'll happen before you leave, CJ.
We're gonna die.
Right. Anyway. So yeah, that was
I'm stealing that.
that is one of my favorite.
Oh, dude, it's a great
wrestling
drinking
video
game. I
game
definitely
memories.
would recommend. If you're a drinker and you like to have fun with your boys and they like wrestling games, that's definitely a fun way to do it.
I'm not a
unfortunately-
huge drinker, but I taught my brother how to play these games, and now he just smokes me. So,
gotta make it interesting now.
so now I
Makes
gotta
your
make it
ass-
interesting.
he triple H's you. He makes your ass grass and
He
smokes.
does and smokes it. But now I got a shot. Now I have no pun intended, a shot at actually beating him.
Yeah, just gotta get them messed up.
That's it.
Not
Those are rules. No, I didn't make them up.
me. Not me.
Can I throw out a random miscellaneous game here?
Yeah.
That I
course.
just thought of. The Simpsons Wrestling, PlayStation
Oh
1.
god.
Oh, I never played it.
That I know is like one of the. I've never played it, but I know it's like known as one of the worst games of all time.
Brutal. It just
I've
popped into
heard.
my head. I was like, I think this is a thing, and it
Yeah.
sure is. And if you want it on eBay, it is the lowest I'm seeing is $17 or best offer.
And that the best offer would be like, you'll pay me to take that game.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, some people are fucking nuts. There's one buy it now for 65.
Some people like
30.
buying really bad shit.
Yeah, I'm out
And,
on this.
and they need to realize Simpsons Hit and Run is where it's at.
Well, okay, yes,
That is
that
obviously that's a good game. That's just
Release
Crazy
the
Taxi itself.
remaster.
I know, right? Have you seen the footage
the
that
fan-made
somebody
one?
recreated in the
Yeah.
Unreal Engine?
Yeah, everyone's
Nice.
like, just put that out. We'll be
Yeah.
happy.
Hire that
Yeah.
dude.
I wish I still had. Like, I don't know why I don't still have Hit and Run, but
I'm pretty sure
someone-
Hit and Run's not cheap on eBay.
someone's selling a
sure it's
damaged
not.
a damaged version, $20. Buy it now.
That's
The
damaged.
damaged version of what? Hit and run?
Yeah,
What
like
does
the
that mean? Like it
it
doesn't
pro-
work?
Probably. It just says sold as is. $20 damaged.
Deal with it.
Yeah, complete
It won't
inbox.
run, but you can say you
yeah.
have it.
Complete inbox. 40. That's on GameCube. $40. PS2 $38. Buy it now. Yeah, it's up there. Hit and Run. Fucking great game though. No game, just the manual and the case. $17. Buy it now.
Wow.
Now-
See, people buy weird shit.
What was I
But,
gonna say? Trying to bring this thought back around.
Get it back to actual. Where's the wrestling?
Where is the wrestling?
I also want to say we should do a watch along of the AEW video.
Do it.
Ah.
Let's do it.
Well, we'd have to do it like right now, live.
Are we allowed to show it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think we can
No,
show it.
just
We
go-
can
we were
react
just
to
gonna
it.
talk.
Well, like,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
so like, I mean, let's bring it to current
Then
day.
again,
'cause
it is on
se-
YouTube.
Good.
All right, go anyway. Go ahead, finish your thought.
But
Good
I mean,
take.
I'll talk. Let's bring up the AEW game because it's
Sure.
I don't. Is there a
I
release
feel like that's a
date
good
on
way to wrap this up, anyways. Let's talk about the
February.
new game coming
Is
out.
there
anyway.
is there it's that you said February?
I believe it got delayed to February, which is probably for the best.
I'm all about, by the way, like I am all about delay the
let's
game,
see.
make it work. Don't put out,
Take your
especially
time.
for your first game as a company, just in general. I'm not even going to say wrestling, just in, I know, okay, fine, the publisher and all that stuff, it's not their first go around with games, but I mean, as a company, your first product that you're putting out in this market, you don't want it to be crap, because then that's your reputation. But
Yeah.
what's the thought of it? Because I've heard some people like ripping the graphics of like, oh, it looks like a PS3 game. But I think for the four of us, I don't think any of us necessarily care. We're sitting here talking about the glory days of N64 and PS2.
That's right.
So graphics don't matter to me so much. Like you can make it look like, you can make it look like a WrestleFest arcade game if it plays well.
I always said
Yeah.
that if you just release No Mercy with the modern day roster,
People
just
will
leave
buy
that
it, yeah.
as is.
People would buy
There you
it.
go. Just
People
leave
would
that
buy
like that.
Yeah.
Release the backlash.
I mean, when
Obviously, the graphics isn't like a major issue for me either. I want it to look good because
It doesn't
obviously
look
a bunch of
bad.
games.
No.
It doesn't look bad at all. I'm looking at screenshots right now.
And there's
It
still
doesn't look
time. Like, this
bad.
isn't the final product either.
Also true too. It's
Also-
like you could still refine and everything else. But
Also,
I don't
apparently
think it
they
looks
actually
bad,
have they also have voices in the game too.
which good. They should.
Great.
I mean,
Like
You should
Adam,
have
like Adam
voices
Cole will do the
Focus on
boom.
camera, yeah.
It's actually Adam Cole.
Oh, that's
saying it
pretty
in the
cool.
ring.
they should have voice. I mean, we're at that point where you should have those kind of things in it. Obviously,
Yeah.
Are they going to make or break the game? No. And what I really want to see is just fun gameplay in the ring. Like,
I hope
them-
they figured out commentary, for the love of God.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Well, like, I don't like, have they announced any kind of game modes yet, or did they simply just put out a gameplay video? Because like,
Oh yeah, they did
there
that
is a career
before there
mode.
was.
is
they
there
did
is
that-
there is there a GM mode?
I
There's
think
a
so. Hold on.
It
I
does
feel like-
say- I'm on
I
their
feel
official
like-
site right now.
I feel like the GM mode got so popular again because Austin Creed did it with Tyler Breeze on Up Down Down so much that I think that got people back into it. I think that got it put back into 2K22,
Yeah.
and I hope that AEW puts a version of that. Maybe not the exact same thing, but some kind of booking thing. Because I mean, they have a mobile game where you can like book shit. That I've heard of. I can't remember what it's called, but I hope there's a variation of that in this game, because that'll get me excited for it.
Okay, so some of the modes in here include singles, tag team, ladder, casino battle royale, and exploding barbed wire deathmatch.
Well,
And it says there's
that's automatically going to be better than the real life ones. So
Damn.
And there is a
Maybe.
career mode, so career / story mode, whatever you want to call it. But
I'm in
I
for
don't
that.
see anything here on their official site about a GM mode yet.
all right, hey, they got February. That's 6 months. They got some time.
That's
Get it
Yeah,
in
they,
there.
they pushed it back, so good.
Smart.
Let's be honest, wrestling games have never been about like how good they look. And we already have a game for that, right? We have WWE. That's the good looking simulation
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Wrestling games, I've always judged them based on how they feel. Because I guess I don't know, for me, the ultimate wrestling game is me feeling like I'm playing a game and having fun, but also orchestrating a cool wrestling match without actually orchestrating a cool wrestling match. I think that's like the ultimate goal for a wrestling game. And if AEW can do that, I don't give a shit how it looks.
Right.
I mean, one of my favorite games, one we didn't talk about, was on the last generation, was WWE All Stars. That game didn't look realistic.
Oh,
Do you guys remember that
God,
game?
Yes.
I
That
didn't.
game
I
was sick,
remember it.
though,
I didn't
right?
play
It's
it.
very
though.
arcadey, but
Yeah.
Game
like
felt great.
in a
It
good
was
way.
on 360. Yeah.
Game felt good.
I
to
might
play,
have
right?
it. I think I have it.
Yeah.
Super cartoony. But
So as long as it
it
has
was
a
great.
good feel, yeah, as long as it has a good feel and
Yeah.
a good like.
Oh,
feel
they
to it flowing,
tried again
cool.
in their break from 2K with what they released, Battlegrounds or something.
oh god, that was awful.
Oh,
I
that was
have
terrible.
I have
Was
it
it
only
bad?
because it was a PS Plus game.
Ah,
I
that
tried it.
makes sense.
It was god awful.
Damn it! They couldn't even
God-
get a
God
fucking
awful.
arcade fighter right. Come on, man.
AEW might be it. We'll see.
I hope
Um,
so.
Yeah.
What was
Well, I remember. I hope they include the shit. Like I remember in that first Stadium Stampede match. I forget who did the move, but they did the throwback like No Mercy, where you Irish whip someone into just the abyss, and it would take you to the backstage area, and they did that in
Yeah.
the Stadium Stampede. Like they just like someone Irish whipped the other one like into like the section tunnel, and someone was like there's no mercy, wasn't it? They're like, yes, thank you for noticing.
That's funny.
Dope.
But yeah, because I remember, like shit like that, like so stupid, but for like, again, people like us, which that's probably their audience with this game is people, I guess they're probably reaching for the audience like the four of us of like, let's, at least I think they're gonna let's
think you're
throw
right.
back, let's try and get some of the characteristics of some of these older games. Let's incorporate No Mercy, let's incorporate the old Smackdowns and things like that into this modern game and make this full package that maybe people feel like they've been missing because that's sort of the product AEW is going for. But
All
again,
I'm asking for.
they're at, see, then there you go. So
Yeah.
maybe that's where they're at. I'm not going to blindly dive in and go, yeah, AEW wrestling game, here's my $70.
Yeah.
But like I'm always skeptical about every game nowadays. So I'll wait for more info and make my purchase decision when the time's right. But I hope it's good. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So I do want to say one thing I feel makes a great wrestling game, and this also is what separates it from fighting games. It needs to be able to go back and forth. I need a match that, it could go like a couple minutes, but I want it to be potential. If you got two players that are good enough that this thing might go a half hour.
Right. Right. You're going to beat each other. Like you said, till both your bodies are red. You're going to take 10 minutes to get up from one another and see what happens.
Yeah.
But we'll
exactly.
see.
And then have to take 2 shots when you get tapped out.
Right.
Yeah, all right. I mean, listen, this was a
Smoke 2
solid.
joints.
And then I smoke 2 more.
Some Sublime for you out there.
Anyway, let's wrap this one up. Final thoughts on some games. Just I feel like there's a lot of nostalgia to be had in this all over the place episode, but I feel like we covered a lot. I don't think we really missed anything. And listen, Sumo getting some throwbacks in here with games I've never even fucking heard of that I'm now going to go research, and I'm going to be fucking scouring eBay now because I can't help myself.
It's what I do, man. That's what
Sounds
I do.
about
I'm
right.
here for it. I'm here for I've been here for the games since '87, and I'll be here for the games long after. I won't be here for the games that long after I'm gone, but I'll be there for them till the end of.
That'd be a little spooky, but okay.
Yeah,
Be
I'm
here.
coming back, y'all, and I'm playing WWE 2K56 after I'm long gone.
But like that's our generation. I feel like like our parents were like, we'll grow out of these video games, and it's like no, like well,
Our parents,
I don't.
Some of the parents are playing video games.
Yeah, like right, like my kid goes to bed, and I'm like, all right, I gotta catch up on that. Like that's us, like mid 30s, just nothing, nothing's changed, just less time.
Things changed. I'm still booking my fantasy matches on WWE 2K. Still doing it.
But anyone final thoughts? Just throw them out there. Anyone that's got anything. I feel like
I'll just say this for final thought regarding the AEW game. I hope we get those things that we were saying, kind of like the complete package of old and new, and that's kind of, I don't want to say what I'm going to expect out of like, Kenny Omega and his fucking crew, but I think that they're on similar pages to a lot of the ways that we've been feeling about wrestling games for years. So I'm hoping that we get something good out of it.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my final thought.
Skyler?
I just want to be a game that I could be like, everybody, let's jump on and stream this and have some silliness going on.
Which
But,
we will.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I'm just, as far as that goes, yep, I'm still holding out for a hopefully a kick-ass wrestling game. And in the meantime, I really want to play some No Mercy.
Me too.
You're gonna make me dig out my fucking N64 in storage in the basement now.
Yes.
Break it out. What do I got here, man?
Well, pay-per-view's coming up. All right, we're doing this beforehand. Who's got a capture card?
Who's got an Elgato?
See, capture
Exactly.
card. What the fuck is a capture card? You guys are talking like
Oh,
I don't know
God,
what any of this shit
Somebody
is.
educate
I don't
this
know
man.
what any of this is.
This
Somebody
is
educate
how
this man.
this is how the YouTubers get the videos of the consoles that don't HDMI's onto the screens to streams to the peoples.
You just said a bunch of letters at me. I don't know.
Well, also the old
game.
the old games look like shit on new TVs anyway. If you got a CRT
Yes.
laying around, that's the way to go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically, it's how people can stream games
Yeah.
like from their TV as
No,
opposed to.
I get, like, I know what they are. I just don't know anything about them. That's all.
Oh, I'm
You
still
don't need
trying to
them
learn too.
anymore.
Yeah.
Unless
On
you
the modern,
play-
well, I mean, when I Twitch on PS5, I just hit the button.
yeah.
Boom. I mean, I want to get a camera set up, but
I know PlayStation restricts you. You can't just use any camera. You got to buy their shit.
well, I have theirs because it came with the bundle that I was forced to get.
Oh,
in order
look that
to
shit
use
up.
it.
Get your face on Twitch.
It's not very good quality.
Well, son of a bitch.
Base or the camera?
Doesn't need to be as long as the
Both.
sound's good.
Both.
Whenever you're recording
Got
video,
him.
here's a fun tip for you. Whenever you're recording, video doesn't matter so much. It's always sound. Make sure the sound is good. The
Yes,
sound is
sure,
good.
sure.
The video quality doesn't have to be great.
Figure out
Yeah.
how to set up a microphone to do that.
That's why
I'm
see, I have-
learning.
I have the nice microphone. Just my lighting
Well,
sucks.
I
But
got
That's
a
okay.
sure.
It doesn't matter.
I got a sure right here. Like I got a good mic.
no, I know you do. You know, I know. No one's saying you have a bad mic. No one's attacking you, Scott.
How dare you attack my mic?
It's
Anyway.
blurry ass camera because I put something.
Boys,
in
it
front of
has been fun. Talking
This is a
about
good
the
one.
old video games for sure.
Um,
Definitely gonna have to go explore some of those ones that Mike is introduced.
know,
I
man.
think
I
all of
am.
us to.
yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
This TNA mobile game, it's like
I wish there was a
there's
way to
gotta
get that.
there's
I
there's
wanna play
gotta
that so
there's
bad.
gotta be a way to try.
There's got to
gotta
be
a
an
way to track it
APK
down.
for it. I've been searching for it during the podcast. I
There's
can't find
gotta
the
be. There's
APK.
gotta be a way.
You ever
It's
find
one
it?
way or
Just send us a
another.
DM and let us know where
Yes.
we're at.
I
'Cause I
will.
want to check it out.
Absolutely. It's worth it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get plugs in. Let's see.
Sounds like a good
I
idea.
gotta look at my stuff.
Oh,
Pull
I'm
up your-
I
pull up
got-
your cheat
I
sheet.
got you.
Everyone can
I
get a
got
cheat
you.
sheet.
You can follow.
Every wrestler has a cheat sheet.
You can follow. We don't have cheat sheets. I'm fucking terrible. I'm about to end the podcast with no plugs. I'd have to like record them after and go, sorry, follow us, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So American Sumo, Mike Gamble, you can follow him on Twitter at Real Mike Gamble. You can follow him on Instagram at, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible and it's failing.
Instagram at Sumo Mike
He's got
Gamble.
it.
Yes.
Facebook at American Sumo Mike Gamble.
There you
Twitter
go.
at Real Mike Gamble and ProWrestlingTees.com.
Buy the shirt. Fuck, I forgot to wear. I forgot
Hold
to
on.
wear it for this pod.
Say it again. Mike was talking over you during your plug.
That's
Say that
okay.
last one again. What's the
We
Pro
don't- we
Wrestling
don't do
Tees
that.
link?
ProWrestlingTees.com/American Sumo MG.
That's right. Go buy the shirt.
That
Go buy
dojo
it.
shirt.
Support the man. He has
know.
definitely he's a great guest for us here.
Yes.
2-time guest now.
2 times.
While you're
Oh,
at
yeah.
it, follow the
Two-time.
Paperweight
Two-time.
Project at all your I don't know, media needs. We're on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Looking to upload some new stuff soon. I've been actually working recently on some new songs, which I'm excited about. So things are
Ooh.
starting to come together. So hopefully we'll have some music for you soon. Skylar, you need to get your ass over here so we can work on some shit.
Yes.
I
Get it
do. And
done.
actually, you're actually not the only person I'm meeting up with to do some music, but yes, we
There
do
you
need to
go.
get that done.
That's what I like to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like I might actually have some things in the works after a old bandmate reached out.
Nice.
And of course with CJ, I don't know if I'm actually pointing in his direction.
Ah,
We got to get that fucking recording done before you vamoose for the West.
Yes.
And also Strange AFC on Twitch. It's mostly been gaming.
were you playing a lot of Roller Dome? Roller Dome?
Roller Drome?
Roller Dome.
Let me tell you about a game called Roller Drome. Just imagine Tony Hawk,
It's been a while since I've had some Roller Dome. I'll tell you that.
Oh, with guns.
guns and roller skates.
I know what game you're talking about. It looks cool.
It is fun. It is.
Is Paul Lee doing the
fucking fun.
commentary like in Rollerball? Like,
That'd be
my
great.
God.
What have I played recently?
This
I was
isn't the
playing
Spanish announce table.
I was playing that. I was playing
Adios mio.
Shimagami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Yeah, because I'm a fucking, weeb deep down.
I played
heard of that
I
one.
played 5. It's but it's yeah.
Well, I'm a big Persona fan.
I like Persona.
Persona 5 is my second favorite game of all time.
It's a great game.
Somehow now Cyberpunk 2077 is my third. I stream that sometimes too. Yeah, I said it.
It's incredible that you're still playing this game so much after just all the dog shit backlash it got.
Well, the 1.5 next gen upgrade patches fixed all that
It's
shit.
not as egregious as people say it is. It's middling. It's not bad.
No, the patch like really fixed shit
The
up.
patch helped.
I put 130 hours into it and I got the platinum trophy.
Good for you.
I wish I could find
Yeah, I know.
fucking hours.
That's how fucking. This took
That's
a
lot of
while.
time, dude.
This took a
No,
while.
what'd you do? You did it in fucking 1 week somehow. Just I've been up forever.
I've been up forever. I've been up forever.
I've been in the basement drinking coffee for 130 hours.
Just look like Cartman in the World of Warcraft
You've
episode.
become, your hair grows out just like in the game, like you become Johnny Silverhand, like you really become Keanu in real life.
Wake up, samurai. You know
Yeah.
fucking kung fu. Might I also mention he's like got the second most dialogue in the game behind your character.
He's fantastic in it.
He really is.
That
Anyway,
makes sense.
Finish
I
out the plugs. Yeah,
Finally.
finish up. And I guess you can follow us on. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can watch all of our faces on YouTube. All of that is Six Man Tag Podcast with the number 6. By the way, I haven't mentioned that in a while. Remember when you search, it's not the word 6, the number 6. Don't look up those guys.
Oh, yeah.
No,
that was right.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram at Six Man Tag Podcast, on Twitter at Six Man Tag. If you go to the bio in our Instagram or Twitter, you can find the link tree that gets you links to everything: the Apple, the Spotify, the YouTube, the Discord. Hit us up on the Discord. Just chat. I mean, it's not super active, but there's some peeps in there talking up in there.
I posted in there a few times.
Yeah, that's what it's for. You got to start somewhere.
Mike didn't know that until I said it just now.
Oh, I see your post. Don't worry.
I'm joking. I keyed.
Listen, I barely get notifications on my phone. Discord is one of the few that comes through. And then I think that wraps it up. Like I said, follow, subscribe,
Buy a t-shirt.
Yeah,
not ours. We don't have any yet.
Well, buy
I want from Mike Gamble.
buy Sumo shirts.
I mean, if you want to send me some money, I'll find a shirt and just be like, here you go.
Start sending us money. Maybe we'll make some shirts.
It might be through the loom. I can't guarantee quality here.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we're gonna have at least some stickers in the works because we have a logo now.
Yeah, buddy. So thank you again to my friend Jesse for that.
I know.
So,
sorry.
At Trio Graphics.
Thank
check
you.
her out
I was
Instagram.
like about to search it. You had it.
No. Trio Graphics. TRIOGRAFIX. Check her out on Instagram if you want. Send her a DM. She takes commissions. She's not expensive. She does great work. She just enjoys making art for people. So hit her up.
Yeah.
And
listen,
she also did this logo behind me. So that's another piece of her work right there. So she does some good stuff.
She's good. And like I said, yes, buy Sumo shirts. I have one myself, forgot to wear it. But if I wore it on this podcast, is it like being I wore the band's t-shirt to the concert type of shit?
I always wear the band's t-shirt to the concert.
Just means I gotta come back at some point for another one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Facts.
I gotta get your shirt now.
Do it.
No, I'm going to. I'm definitely going to. I meant to do it last time, and I've been, I haven't been online shopping for anything. So
excuses.
I'm broke, motherfucker.
I'm broke, bitch.
There it is. That's the answer I was looking for. It's okay. Just need you to be honest, baby. That's all.
But I should have some money coming my way soon, so I'm definitely going to go on a little spree on pro wrestling tees because there's a few shirts I need to get. So
hell yeah.
And this is going to come out. I mean, again, follow our Instagram. I got a post. We got a lot of former guests wrestling this weekend. We got to wish good luck, but that'll be on the Instagram because you might be listening to this in 6 months from now, so it won't be relevant. But listen, this was awesome. Thank you. And hey, for Sumo, thanks again for joining us. Fantastic knowledge of games. I can't say it enough.
Of course.
Pro guys, a pro.
For Skylar, CJ, Mike. You heard all the plugs before. Hit that back 30-second button a few times to hear all the plugs again if you want, because we're out of here. Until next time.
Peace, bitches.
Peace.
Recording stopped.